Welcome to the Patriots Den, everyone. I'm your host, Patrick PrudHomme. I'm here with my amazing, my wonderful, benevolent, is that the word? Benevolent.
Spell it.
B-E-N-E. Benevolent. V-O-L-E-N-T. Benevolent. Thank you very much. Bryan Fuentesimo. That's your new name, Fuentesimo.
That's a new one. I'm not going to lie to you.
Benevolent or Fuentesimo?
That one. Fuentesimo. I've got a lot of different versions of my last name, I'll tell you that.
I think Fuentesimo fits, you know. It's like a magician. Bryan the Fuentesimo.
That's a first. PrudHomme, it's a bit to the point for me to be able to say something with it.
Boom. Done. One and done. But Fuentesimo. The great Fuentesimo.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. That's a creative one.
So if whatever career you're going down, if it fails, just be a magician and call yourself the great Fuentesimo.
Do you think about that one last week when we weren't here?
Maybe. Possibly. May have thought about it on the drive here. I don't know. Can't tell you.
It's the magic in it, ain't it?
It's that exactly. That's the magic in it. Folks, we were not here last week. And I mean, we didn't miss anything last week.
Yeah, it was very slow news.
It was slow. There wasn't much going on. Yada, yada, yada.
I mean, other than the weather, but...
I mean, yeah.
It was raining cats and dogs.
Literally. Prayers still out for Texas. The tragedy that happened. So many innocent lives lost. So we're still thinking about those, and it just shows how strong Texas is. There is a couple housekeeping things before we get into today's show. Folks, it's primary season. Whether you want to admit it or not, it is primary season. People have already announced that they are running for whatever they're running for, right? With that being said, my job, being here and being what I do on social media, is to go to all of these different events that's all around Texas, meeting with different candidates during the primary season. And one of the things you do when you're there is you get a little picture with them. You get a picture. A picture with someone is not an endorsement of someone. If I'm endorsing a candidate, I will let you know. We'll make it very clear and plain. But if I just post a picture with somebody, say, hey, this guy's running for so-and-so, met him today, that doesn't mean I'm endorsing him. It just means I met somebody who was running for so-and-so's district or whatever, right? So remember that when you're scrolling, when you're looking around, a photo with someone does not equal an endorsement of someone, which I don't understand why that's even... I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I completely agree. You'd be surprised how many times I've just seen people, like, on one end just be like, oh, I didn't know you knew this person. It's just like, oh, I just took a picture with them. I don't really know them.
Yeah, it's just...
Or on the other end, they just get blacklisted entirely because they took a picture with the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I mean, it's really just a picture.
Right.
You never knew who initiated it. You never knew why they took it. It was just like, oh, yeah, cool.
A picture. Especially group photos.
Oh,
where it's like a bunch of people in one picture
photos.
when there's like 4 people in the photo. This is really how it happens, folks. Me and Bryan are talking, and then so-and-so are talking right here. Somebody walks up and says, oh, y'all stand next to each other. Let's get a picture. Post it. Take a picture, post it. That's all it is. Right? It's not, a lot of the times, it's not me the one going, hey, can I get a picture with you? It's a little odd to walk up to someone and be like, hey, let me get a picture with you. That's not what's happening. So when I start posting some pictures here shortly, it's not that I'm endorsing anyone. This is just, these are people that have been at the events with me. If I feel like if I post the person, it's probably because I've talked to them. I'm not saying I endorsed them or anything, but I've probably talked to them. I've gotten to know them a little bit. I know there's a couple of candidates out there right now where people have mixed feelings about them. There's incumbents, quote unquote, that I'm talking about right now. Incumbents that people aren't too fond of. If I'm in the room with an incumbent congressman and I take a picture with him, that doesn't mean I support him in whatever his primary may look like. It just means I took a picture with the congressman. There's a couple of congressmen, Bryan, in my phone that I have pictures with, and I will never post them. Ever. Ever. If it gets posted, that means I'm dead and someone's going through my phone. Damn, great job. Anyways. Y'all didn't hear that.
Arg.
Jeez. We're gonna pray for them. And hopefully whatever happens, no matter who it is, no matter what they do, I don't know, man. You know, rhinos. Am I right?
You can say that again.
Voting to send billions of dollars to Ukraine and then saying absolutely nothing when the border is still wide open?
Yeah, I mean, sending all that money overseas.
With a Republican majority? You can say, well, the president at the time was a Democrat. It was Joe Biden. That's nice, but I mean, if you pass the bill in the House and the Democrats vote against it, you go, look what they just did. They voted against securing your border, which, I mean, I guess they kind of did it. That's why we won with such great numbers, but still. I'm talking about a specific person right now, folks. If y'all haven't gotten it yet, then that's on you. But let's move on. Bryan?
Yeah. So, I don't know if y'all have been keeping up with the news. For better or for worse, there's a very big news story this coming week. And I think big would be an understatement just because of the magnitude of what's coming out is, or more accurately, the lack of what's coming out right now is. And I think, Mr. PrudHomme, you'd be very well familiar with what's going on based on how close you associate your likeness with this politician. You know, Trump, being very defensive.
Thought you were about to. I thought he was comparing me to the other guy.
Oh, no. You're not worthy.
I don't know if that would be considered a worthy title. I don't know about that.
Hey, I mean, imagine how much respect he has with all these rich people.
Oh, yeah. They love him. Clearly.
You saw the tweet of Stephen King?
I did not.
He hates Trump on everything, except for the Epstein list.
I wonder why.
I think the tweet goes something along the lines of, yes, the Epstein list is real, just like the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus.
And he's just as much on that list as much as the sky is blue.
I mean, have you seen it? Like how degenerate the book is? It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Jeez. Well, folks, to those of you that don't know what he's talking about the Jeffrey Epstein Files. Let's just dive headfirst into this. I think that it's not sugarcoating. I saw a post on Facebook by a guy, and he said, you, quote-unquote, fake MAGAs are stupid. You didn't vote for Trump because he said he was going to release the Epstein Files. Trump never said that. But and this person watches the show, so God bless him. September 3rd, 2024, Trump promises to release Epstein client list if he wins the election. That's by Susie Cohen of The Telegraph. September 3rd, 2024. That's right before the election.
Yeah.
Trump promises to release the Epstein client list.
And that's not even taking into account the day one promises, the amount of time to say, day one release, we're going to release all the Epstein files.
Right.
And day one, nothing big comes out. It was just like a bunch of redacted documents, nothing of importance, basically.
Right. Pam Bondi, she said, it's on my desk.
But it doesn't exist, so how could it be on your desk, apparently?
So, folks, and what we're doing right now, as I haven't even given you my opinion, I haven't done the Reddit, I haven't done anything. I am just naming to you what they said. This is what they said. We're going to release it on day one. It's on my desk. Those are the two people that are running around parading like chickens with their head cut off that the Epstein list does not exist are the main people who said that they were going to release it because it was on their desk. Jump forward to today's critical political environment. Trump goes on Truth Social and he says this. This is by Donald Trump, by the way. The radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again. Just like with the fake, in all caps, and fully discredited Steele Doser, the lying 51 quote-unquote intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, which the Dems swore had come from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom. And even the Russia scam itself. A totally fake and made-up story used in order to hide crooked Hillary Clinton's big loss in the 2016 presidential election. These scams and hoaxes are all the Democrats are good at. It's all they have. They are no good at governing, no good at policy, and no good at picking winning candidates. Also, unlike Republicans, they stick together like glue. Their new scam is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And my past, in all caps, supporters have bought into this BS hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years. I have had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country's history. And all these people want to talk about with strong prodding by the fake news and the success-starved Dems is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking of our incredible, unprecedented success because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Mr. President, Donald J. Trump, you're going to like this. Mr. President Donald Trump, I've been a supporter since 2016. And if all it takes for you no longer to want my support is for me to want to hold Washington, D.C. accountable, hold the D.C. elites accountable by asking you to fulfill a promise that you made, if that makes me a fake supporter, if you no longer want my support, I will respect your wishes. But what I want everyone to know is that when the midterm rolls around, and it's about to roll around, don't expect Republicans to win. If you want MAGA to live past these 4 years of Donald Trump, because he won't be here forever, then maybe it's time that you fulfill some of the campaign promises that you promised, aka actually getting rid of DEI, with your Republican House and Republican Senate, releasing the Jeffrey Epstein files that you promised to release on day one, ending the Ukraine and Russia war that you promised to end on day one, restoring peace to the Middle East and not being a footstool for Israel that you promised to do on day one. Instead of running around having hot mic clips and talking points, Mr. President, how about you begin to fulfill the promises of the American people? Sure, we have deportation at an all-time high and illegal immigration is finally getting taken under control. Sure, we passed the big, beautiful bill and we got no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, but that only lasts for 4 years.
And there's a limit on it, too.
So, Mr. President, my fault for wanting to actually make America great again and not just saying it in all caps on a tweet. My fault for actually wanting to hold DC accountable. My fault for actually wanting someone to be the voice for the people. If MAGA wants to survive, then at the same time, you have to admit that, yeah, you're the greatest president of my lifetime. Sure. But that does not exempt you from being held accountable, and that does not exempt you from taking criticism from the people that elected you. Because at the end of the day, you still are an elected official, elected by the people to work for the people. And if the people are asking you to fulfill a promise that you made on day 1, day 2, day 3, and days before the election, then you probably should uphold your end of the bargain. Because if not, the midterms will not be nice for the Republican Party. Bryan?
Yeah, no. I mean, unfortunately, I've never been as MAGA as you have been. I'm America first, full send. I do whatever's the best for this country. If MAGA was the best for this country, I'm MAGA. But the second I noticed Trump wasn't necessarily fulfilling his campaign promises or being as America first as he said he would be, that's when I became a bit more skeptic of Trump as a president, his administration as a whole. And I think the Epstein Files is just another example of Trump. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sorry, but becoming the swamp at this point.
Yeah.
He's becoming the establishment, and MAGA isn't what it used to be. It wasn't a populist force of the people have had enough of the establishment. People have had enough of this entrenched bureaucracy. Now it's just the new bureaucracy. Mm-hmm. MAGA used to mean like the candidate stands for America first. They're going to want the people to be good. And now it's the opposite. Now if you're MAGA endorsed, there's a good chance you're establishment now because of how politics works, unfortunately. It's very hard to keep your values in D.C. That's the unfortunate reality. And Trump, whether willingly or unwillingly, lost to the establishment, and that's what we're seeing today. Right. With all the new wars, with the lack of actual change happening, and now, I mean, I would argue the Epstein Files were never going to get dropped. There was just a red herring to get a few votes from people. And at the end of the day, the only people who suffer here are the victims. The people who were, trafficked, the people who were abused, they're never going to get justice. They're never going to have their abusers, face justice either. And it's all because Mr. President wants to play games with the files.
Yeah.
Why that is, I frankly couldn't tell you. I've heard a few theories, but they're theories. There's genuinely no reason why someone who wants to protect Americans, protect the victims, would want to keep these files hidden. Right. And frankly, it's very disgusting what's happening. And I can only hope that, something changes. I mean, we have 4 more years of this, and if this is not even the first year, I can only dread to imagine what the next 3 years will be. Because, right. I mean, I didn't like Biden. I'll make that very clear. But this is not what I voted for.
No, not at all. And this idea that Jeffrey Epstein, the whole thing was a hoax, remind the viewers that Jeffrey Epstein was arrested and indicted and tried under the Trump administration's DOJ. Biden was not president when Jeffrey Epstein was arrested. Donald Trump was. Biden wasn't president when the Epstein Files were first created and formed by the FBI. Donald Trump was. And to all of you saying, well, the Democrats did this, did that to the files, let's be honest with ourselves. You cannot sit here and convince me or yourself that the Democrats used the DOJ, weaponized the DOJ against Donald Trump, and then somehow, some way, doctored the Epstein Files to put Trump in it and then never released it. If Donald Trump's name were in the Epstein Files, then you can bet your bottom dollar that the Epstein Files would have been released. So it's not that Donald Trump is in the Epstein Files. I don't believe that at all. But I think that there are some people's names in the Epstein Files who have a little too much power over D.C. than they actually should. And that is because a lot of people running around here trust the president, trust the president. Unlike you, I want to use wisdom over willful ignorance. I believe that Trump is just a man. He is not my God. Trump knows how to make a mistake, just like everyone here. The president puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like everyone watching. And for all of you saying, no, it's a mind game. Sure, let's say it's a mind game. But let's go down this rabbit hole. Let's say it's a mind game. Trump is saying the files don't exist just to make the Democrats release it. Do you know how bad that makes him look? To say that something doesn't exist, and then the moment we get a Democrat, oh my goodness, here are all the files, folks. The president, Donald Trump, lied.
Oh, it's worse than that. He denounced God knows how many followers in that tweet.
Right.
And it's going to, I'm guaranteed, press conference is going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the reason why. That's
if you want to win, this is the last thing you want to do. I have been a supporter of Trump since 2016. I was supporting Trump so hard that I was hand making my own Trump shirts. Because he would go around, and in 2016, promises were made, promises were kept. But right now, yes, there's more stability in the cabinet, but is it good stability? I believe in...
Is it stability or complacence?
Right. I believe in quality over quantity. So you can have a bunch of high-name profile people in your cabinet, that's great, but how qualified are they? Clearly, Pam Bondi is not the right person for the job. And when Matt Gaetz was selected as AG, I loved it. I think he should have been the AG. And I can guarantee if Matt Gaetz was the Attorney General, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now. But the establishment of D.C. said no to Matt Gaetz. Why? Because they know that he actually would have went in there and done whatever he wanted to. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Pam Bondi the AG in Florida at the time Jeffrey Epstein was walking around doing all this?
Makes you think.
And then it's the same person in the DOJ that prosecuted and handled Epstein. Why did that person get fired? just the other day by Trump. These are things that make you wonder. And for all of you at home that refuse to hold Donald Trump accountable, I don't want you to hold the Democrats accountable for nothing. I don't want to hear you complain about nothing. Every time something doesn't go your way, I want you to say this one thing. Trust the process. Right? Trust the process. You have completely lost all credibility in the political arena. You know it's bad when Charlie Kirk himself goes, wait a minute, Donald. I think we need to release those files. Charlie Kirk there is no viewer, no one online that has more support and has put more into Donald Trump than Charlie Kirk. And Charlie Kirk himself is going, something's not adding up. So when your top supporters start saying something's not adding up, and then when the Democrats say that we're a cult, we're this, we're that, we're this, we're that, and you say, oh, no, we're not. So what is it then? What is it? I mean, some of you are truly making me believe that if Trump came outside right now and looked up in the sky and said, folks, the sky is not blue. In fact, it is green with a hint of purple, you'd believe it. You'd go, you know what? Yeah, he's right. If Trump came out today and started supporting men and women's sports, I think you jump the bandwagon too and believe in men and women's sports.
It's America first. This is what our founding fathers wanted.
This is it. Yeah,
I would
this
see
is
it
totally
like
what our founding fathers wanted.
He'll make it like so American, and then even though it's the least American thing ever. And I mean,
and a lot of you will hop, skip, and a jump. I want to read some Facebook post that just blew my mind on everything. People saying if the Epstein Files caused Trump to lose the midterms, then he's right. People are idiots because the Democrats will never release anything vile unless Trump's name is on it. Hey folks, the Democrats aren't in power. Republicans have the House, Republicans have the Senate, Republicans have the Supreme Court, Republicans have the governor majority, Republicans have the House, Republicans have the most state legislators. The Democrats are the most powerless group of people in America right now. So this idea that it's the Democrats are not in power. How long are we going to continue to blame the Democrats? We sound just like the Democrats at their DNC. It was Trump. How did that work out for them? They lost. So you can continue running around here saying the Democrats. And then when you lose, please don't come asking me how we lost. I'm going to tell you how we lost. Because of willful ignorance in the party. Because we let go of true conservative values such as holding the government accountable. At this point, we look like the Democrats, just a different color. One's blue and one is red. It's the abysmal truth, Bryan.
I mean, once again, I was ahead of the curve with you on this one, Pat. I told you, just be a bit more skeptic, you know? I hate to say I told you so, but I mean, because frankly, in this situation, it sucks. I wish it could have been over something else, you know, foreign policy or something debatable. But
right.
With something as egregious as the Epstein Files, it's, you know, it's one of those things like I really don't want to argue on this because it's so one-sided. Like, there's no reason to not drop the files and then pretend like they never existed. That's my big thing.
It never existed. It was a hoax. What?
And it was like, not even like it was an election thing to like get votes. During the presidency, we have him on my desk right here, ready to go. Trump never said, no, we don't. Trump never said, oh, this is fake. She doesn't have anything. Mm-hmm. He went along with it. It was good press. He needed it for all the other things he was doing. But now that everything else has calmed down, he hoped quietly say, no files. Mm-hmm. But no, I mean, rightfully so. The people aren't happy about this.
Right.
And I mean, I genuinely think he's not only causing damage to his own image. Because, like, imagine what he could have had leaving the presidency. Mm-hmm. I know it's 3 years away, but imagine if he just fulfilled his campaign promise and then just, did a bit more.
Yeah.
He could have been one of the great presidents, but right now he's just in a quagmire. Everything he touches, it just turns to mush.
Yeah.
It doesn't turn bad, doesn't turn good. It just turns mediocre, frankly.
Do you have Twitter?
I have one, but I don't use it often.
Are you logged into it?
Maybe.
Log into it. Let me see something.
Yeah.
Log into Twitter. Give us 1 second here, folks. We're gonna dive deep into this because now I'm upset. Now I'm mad, and I already know what the people are gonna say. You're a fake Republican. Oh my God, you're a fake Republican. Most of you don't know the core values of the Republican Party anyway, so call it what you want. That's perfectly fine. I know what I'm gonna vote in the midterms. I'm gonna vote. I'd rather not vote than vote for a Democrat. Period. Point blank. Right? And so I have no problem with going in and voting and leaving a spot blank. There's already people on my ballot that I know of that I'm like, okay, they got my vote. Right? So if I got to go in there and vote for 2 people and walk out on a ballot of over 100 names, then that's exactly what I'll do. But at the end of the day, I'd rather not vote than vote for a Democrat. I will not have that on my record at no point. And when they win, I'm not going to complain because I didn't vote. That would be ignorance. Did you log in?
Oh yeah, I'm in.
Go to my Twitter account. Go to my Twitter account.
Which is?
It should be just my name. Patrick PrudHomme. Or real PJ PrudHomme. I think it's what it is. What's my Twitter account, y'all? Real PJ PrudHomme.
Yep, found it.
Let me see. Okay, awesome. Now, I want to read to you all.
Yeah, you're gonna keep that pinned tweet?
Let me see. I am going to keep the pinned tweet because Donald Trump, like I said, is the greatest president of my lifetime. He's the greatest president of my lifetime. I'm not going to ditch out on him now, right? He has far surpassed Bush. He's far surpassed Obama. He's far surpassed Biden. But at the same time, accountability must be had. Can you pull up the tweet that I posted? Maybe yesterday. It was the day before yesterday. The winner.
I couldn't imagine protecting.
No, it's the winner one. The winner.
Winner?
It's the one about him being a winner.
How long ago was that?
Let me see. I can scroll.
Oh, found it.
There, you got it. All right. Go ahead. This is my tweet, folks. My tweet. Read it.
President Trump has been a winner time and again. I think you're supposed to say time and time again.
No, it's time. Continue reading.
And will likely remain, in my opinion, the greatest president so far in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
However, that does not excuse the actions of lying about the Jeffrey Epstein files. Pam Bondi said on day one that the files were on my desk. Release the files now. Triple exclamation point.
Triple exclamation point. Then read the next one. There's another one that I put after that. Read the next one. Folks, I've been on this for a while. This is not something that we're just now talking about. No, this is something we've been at for a while. Read the next one.
I couldn't imagine. That's the next one.
Read the full thing. That's not my Twitter.
That is your Twitter.
I couldn't imagine. Yes, that one.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. He was reading a point in it. I didn't. That one.
I couldn't imagine protecting and excusing the cover-up of a pedophilic sex trafficking ring. Completely agree.
Thank you. Now to my Republicans. This is to y'all, right? I've done enough about Trump. The amount of you running around saying that the Epstein Files is a nothing burger, it's nothing, who cares? It's a literal Hollywood sex trafficking pedophilic ring. So you no longer can say anything about the border and sex trafficking because you are excusing sex trafficking that's already happening right here in America. So now you're losing credibility all the way down the list. If you don't care about it happening here, don't care about it happening over there. This is what we mean by hypocrisy and ignorance happening right now within the Republican Party. And the Democrats are using us and laughing at us because of how ignorant we sound. So if you want to win in the midterms, actually throw that out. Throw that. if you want to win in the general election in 3 years, it's about 3 years now.
Yeah.
Then you need to make a massive U-turn. Or the Republicans will not win. Everything that Trump has done so far will be in vain. The Democrats will come in and redo all that. This is the point where right now, we have to lock in. This is what sets us up for the midterms and the general election. And right now, you're about to go into the midterms with a base that's already been divided into 3 different parts. Now you're about to turn it into 4. Do you really think you're going to be able to win with one party that has 4 different branches? None of them want to talk to each other. What are the 4 branches? I'll tell you. You have the neocons. They've been here. They're not going anywhere. You have the MAGAs who just think that Trump is the end-all be-all of everything in life, you know. Then you have the ones who are MAGA, right? But we have common sense and we know that something's not right. The Epstein Files should be released. You know, the war in Ukraine is still going on. There's a lot of broken promises right now in the Trump administration, right? Then you have the America First movement. You have the Nick Fuenteses and the people like that. And then you have the neoliberal Republican base, who, if they're very minority,
Yeah.
but they're there.
And they do have influence.
And they have influence, right? So that's 5 branches that you have right there. And you can also get into like the libertarian base that's out there too, Dan Crenshaw. That's 6 bases. I said 5. That's 6
You
bases.
said 4 actually.
But I started adding as I went along. Pay attention, lock in. There's 6 bases. The neoliberal isn't going to vote for you. The neocon ain't going to vote for you. The America First show ain't going to vote for you. The libertarian, maybe. Depends on how you treat Dan Crenshaw. The MAGA will vote for you, but then there's people like me who, at the rate this is going, why would I vote for someone who doesn't want accountability in Washington, D.C.? I strongly dislike Thomas Massie. I do. I can't stand him. Thomas Massie is a rhino.
You think so?
He's a rhino. Thomas Massie. Anyone who voted against Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill
I would disagree.
is I mean, these were the campaign promises in one bill.
But I mean, the bill itself was not as good as we were told. I mean,
The bill. So my thing, anyone who's complaining about spending, wait a minute, we're already in debt. If we spend $1 or $1 billion, you're still in debt, right? So we have to have a reconciliation period. When it comes to the economy, Trump knows exactly what he's doing. We have to have that reconciliation period. The big, beautiful bill was necessary for the time being. We need it. I love the big, beautiful bill. I've read it time and time again. I think it was great. And I think the problem that we had is when it went to the Senate did this complete gut of it. I mean, when the House got it back, it was not the same bill that they sent over.
Well, here's the fun part about that.
It wasn't the
No,
same.
do you know who did the whole restructuring in the Senate? It was an unelected bureaucrat, actually, who looked over the whole bill, took things out that, frankly, she should have no power to do. Mm-hmm. And then when it got reintroduced, it had to go to a committee to, fix some things out of the bill. Mm-hmm. The reason I know this is because Second Amendment was a big thing that was on that bill, too. But this, unelected, person in the Senate changed all these things, watered it down, as you said. Mm-hmm. And for that reason, I don't blame Thomas Massie for voting against it.
Well,
because it was watered down in not a good way. It wasn't watered down to, be better because it's less government. It was watered down to where all the good things for the average person were basically taken away.
but then here's my thing. The stuff that's in it,
Mm-hmm.
right? You pass it. Then you go, okay, well, this was taken out. Now let's pass this. This was not like.
But do you know why?
We have to get it done now. We still have the majority.
No, we don't.
Yes, we
You know politics. You know how it works. If it's not done right now, it's as you said, budget reconciliation. Mm-hmm. You need a simple majority to pass it.
Correct.
Anything else needs a supermajority to pass, or else filibuster stops it from passing.
Correct.
Democrats currently prevent a supermajority from happening.
Correct.
Hence, this was the only way to pass a bill or any legislation. through the budget reconciliation.
I think we'll gain. I don't think we're going to lose the Senate in the midterm.
Well, it's not about losing the Senate. It's
And
about having
I-
a supermajority. If you don't
But
have a
I think
supermajority,
I
we
think we're
can't
gonna,
pass
I think
legislation.
we can gain in those regions, right? We can gain these votes.
Not anymore.
And again, we forget Trump still has executive order, right? So if let's say the Second Amendment thing that's taken out, we go, well, Mr. President, we couldn't get this through. Write an executive order, send it to us, and then we'll make it law. There are many different passages to get these things done, is what I'm saying.
But how many of them are going to get struck down by the courts? That's the issue.
Well, and see, but we've talked about that, right? The courts, they think they have more power than they do, and that's when the Supreme Court steps in. Republican majority Supreme Court, a lot of the majority of the Supreme Court has sided with Trump on all of these issues. Most of the things that the courts have shot down when it was taken to the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Trump. So that's like I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking long term. Yeah, okay. Well, it's gonna fail then. Yeah, but we still have a little more time to fight.
Well, what I'm arguing here is you shouldn't call Massey a rhino for voting against a bill.
I think Thomas Massey has said and voted in ways that I just aren't of. I don't think Thomas Massey is a Republican. He's more so of a libertarian. I think he's more of a libertarian. He's not.
That's valid. That's valid.
Yeah.
I like Massey myself. I do admire his perseverance to the American people. You may say he's a rhino, but he's not a classical rhino where it's...
No. Well, and see, there are multiple branches of rhinos, right? There's multiple... The term rhino means Republican in name only. The only part of Thomas Massey that's Republican is that name. His values and things are more so along with the libertarian, perspective, which is why if a Democrat writes a bill, don't be surprised if Thomas Massey goes and votes for it. Right?
Most likely against it, though.
He might vote against it, but he might vote for anything that will align with that libertarian way. I saw a thing where the libertarians were like, we just want the government to be so small that a gay couple can go buy an AR-15 and smoke weed. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's your personal opinion, right? That's the libertarian way of thinking. That's what Thomas Massey is, right? Then you have folks like Dan Crenshaw, who is just establishment rhino. Uniparty. I can't stand him. I
couldn't tell.
I love that he fought for this country. I will never take that away from him. Great veteran, not a good congressman. Personal opinion. You have the right to disagree if you want to.
He's pretty anti-gun too.
But again, I need a lot of people to remember they don't pay everyone to think. So he's getting paid to think, and that's the problem. Wait a minute, we're paying him to make bad decisions. Somewhere the line, what's the saying? The buck stops here, something like that. I don't know. The buck stops here with that, right? You can't have willful ignorance, and I think that the Dan Crenshaw thing really got heat because of like the Tucker Carlson, when he said he wanted to kill Tucker Carlson. Like it's stuff like that just makes me go, I don't like you. I'm not a fan of you. I'm not a fan of what you do, right? So there's multiple branches of rhinos. So I'm not going to sit here and go, Trump is just this evil president. He's so bad. No, he's the greatest president of my lifetime. He continues to win and win and win and win. But that does not excuse this right here. It doesn't. If Trump comes out right now and gets some massive bill passed, I will go, that's my president. That's what I voted for. Now can we get this done? I'm not just going to be like, oh, we can't get that, let's move on. No, that's not how we function. We're supposed to be here to hold people accountable. I had one person tell me the other day that, because I was posting on Facebook, and they go, you're a fake reporter. Where was this energy when Biden was president? Bryan, educate the folks on what I was doing when Biden was president.
Patrick has a side to him that isn't out very much anymore, thankfully. You just seen him during before Trump got elected. He had his moments. Very, very energetic for sure.
Thank you. Very energetic. So that bothered me. It hit me. And I normally don't respond to comments. I don't. I really don't. But this has made me respond to a lot of comments, and this is a hill that I'm willing to die on. I could lose all 40-some thousand followers, and I will go to sleep peaceful at night, knowing that at the end of the day, I stood for truth, I stood for what is right, I stood for the victims. You didn't. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I'm going to go, I was right, you were wrong. So I'm sorry that I don't want to be, all hail the mighty Donald J. Trump, my God, my God, my God, because he's not. He's made a mistake. Call the mistake out. And the thing is, I'm not even mad at Trump somewhere. I'm more mad at the people around him and the so-and-so quote-unquote supporters. Because I've always been told that a true friend will tell you when you're wrong. A true friend will say, hey, listen, what you're doing, that's not right. A true friend holds each other accountable. We hold each other accountable. And so all of you patting Trump on the back, saying, oh, no, it's okay. You're right, they don't exist. Well, he didn't say that when he was on the campaign trail. Pam Bondi didn't say that when they were sitting on her desk. So no, I'm going to hold my friend accountable. I'm going to hold the people in my party accountable. We said we were going to release them, get them released. They weren't fake all that time you were on the campaign trail. They weren't fake when they were sitting on Pam Bondi's desk. Do we not remember the photo shoot that they took walking out of the White House with the Epstein binders? All those parts that were redacted, unredact them. What does it say? I'll be satisfied. I'll be satisfied with just that. All those parts that were redacted in the Epstein Files, unredact them. Or do they not exist either? Because I saw those with my own eyes. We physically saw those. We don't care about his Rolodex of phone numbers. I don't care. Could care less. Right? But there was a list of massage clients that were redacted. Massage clients. Unredacted. What are you hiding? What are we scared to show? Right. 'Cause I'm getting hot over here.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've said what we needed to say with the whole situation. I mean, it's as simple as he disappointed a lot of us with what he did. And, I mean, beyond just heating ourselves up more, there's nothing else that will be said. I'm hoping some big change happens in the next coming days, but, I mean, for better or for worse, there's nothing else to say other than Trump is in the wrong here and he needs to come forward and drop the files. Because, I mean, we know they exist. You said they existed for how many months now? I mean, what would you say, November, or would you say January? When would you say the files?
For what?
Trump's administration saying the files exist, we're dropping them.
I think it was. Well, we know he said it in September.
Yeah.
Before the election.
And they had him since January, and I'm guessing it would be fair.
And when Pam Bondi was sworn in, so February-ish. February-ish, yeah.
Yeah, that's what, 5 months?
Yeah.
So, as you said, you're getting heated up. I am as well, but I'm a bit better at hiding it than you. So
you're better. But my character is being attacked. And I'm like, come on now. And it's so sad, right? There's a comment that says we got more important things to handle.
Like what?
Like what? Sending billions of dollars to foreign nations? Is that what you want me to talk about? You want me to talk about sending money to Israel? Do you want me to talk about sending billions in dollars to Ukraine? What do y'all want me to talk about? Do you want me to talk about how the border is secure? Good job. We've talked about the border already. We've talked about no tax on tips. We've talked about the good things that he's done. What do you want? What is there to talk about now? What are the other things that need to be handled?
There's no Warren Bossing say, for those of you who know what that is. They deny things that are right in front of you. And that's their goal. Because I'm not even just Republicans, Democrats, whoever, politicians, the establishment. They want everything to do with politics to be with them.
Right.
They don't want people to be involved. That was a mistake they did. They needed people to vote for them, campaign for them. Because the big reason why people matter so much isn't because of their vote necessarily. It's because of the money they bring in. Campaign donations, support, etc. Mm-hmm. Now that we're done with the campaign season for another year, basically, they don't need to care. Mm-hmm. I guarantee those Epstein files are going to be talked about in a year from now. Because if, let's just say Trump sticks to his guns and doesn't stop talking about it. Mm-hmm. Guarantee, I'd say next July, in the news, Trump says Epstein files will be dropped upon midterms.
Right.
And it's going to be another,
It's a stick.
carrot. It's going to be a carrot in front of us. Right. We're getting the stick right now, and we're going to get the carrot in a year once they need us again. And I mean, it's as simple as know your values, stay true to them.
Right.
Don't let, just because someone tells you to vote or think a certain way to do so. I mean, no, if you know what you want, just, put God first and everything else will come afterwards. That's really all I have to say.
Right. It's sad. If people want to know what's happening in Washington, D.C., nothing. Right. The latest bill to be introduced is to make the Muslim Brotherhood a terrorist organization. That was introduced by Ted Cruz. You want me to get on here and start talking about the Americans' war on Muslims right now? Because that's what's happening.
What is it? 2004?
Right. Anything to distract you from what's actually happening. Matt Gaetz didn't get called to D.C. for no reason. He's not the FBI director. Oh, what's his name? He's like the co-director or something like that.
Yeah.
He says that if Pam Bondi does not drop the files, he's gonna quit. He's gonna leave.
So they do exist.
Thank you. Right. So right now, the Texas House is going into special session to do a bunch of absolute nothing. They're not gonna get anything done up there. Besides redistrict some stuff and push some people west, congratulations. But we are in a standstill moment right now where America First is not looking to America First.
Nope. And, just to jump on foreign policy for a little bit, since I know you love that so much. Big promise, Trump campaign. War in Ukraine and Russia will end within 24 hours of my election. Man, 24 hours sure lasts a long time,
It's a long 24 hours. They just sent more weapons to Ukraine.
Oh, and get this. They tell Russia 55 days to, get it all together. So it's a mess. I mean, I'm a big foreign policy guy. I love geopolitics. It's a big interest of mine. And it's a mess. I mean, I'll be straight up with you. Trump does not have the cards in Ukraine anymore. Mm-mm. They lost bargaining chips. In fact, the lithium mine that was promised to the Americans from Ukraine if they ended the war, get this, was just captured by the Russians a few days ago. All these promised mineral rights, I think you remember that, mineral deal with the U.S. for peace. Mm-hmm. A lot of these facilities and mines are being captured by the Russians because it's a summer offensive right now.
And now Zelensky can't, do his little ballerina dance because that's all.
You saw him? He wore a suit finally.
Yeah, he's wearing a suit. He's taking it serious. He's like, wait a minute. They're not just, letting me go and do and say whatever I want to do. No. First off, I could care less, right, about it. So you coming over here begging us for our tax dollars, we don't care. What harm does... Because I know everyone on here is geopolitical majors. Did you know that?
Really?
Everyone on here right now have an Epstein list doctorate. That's number one. And they have a Ukraine-Russia master's.
Oh, don't forget, they also have a Middle Eastern politics associate's degree, too.
Mm-hmm. They went to Facebook University.
I heard some of them went to the TikTok college, too.
Instagram community college is popping.
Yeah, I heard it's real cheap, too.
What does Ukraine offer the United States of America? That's your homework.
So, beyond just being a buffer against Russia, they really don't offer us much. It's a hot point in Europe, frankly, and that's really all it is. But as you know, a hot point is the ability to engage an adversary. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's basically what Taiwan is to the U.S. I mean, but frankly, I think Taiwan's a bit more worthwhile because they provide all of our advanced semiconductor chips. If you didn't know this, most advanced technology doesn't come from the U.S. It comes from Taiwan, actually, which is a small little island outside of China, which China wants back a lot. Because, it's the equivalent of the U.S., I don't know, losing Florida, losing New York to a foreign power. And then that state becomes its own rebel government, basically. I guarantee you, an American president, after a certain point, would be like, we need to take this back for our national pride. Mm-hmm. That's what Taiwan is. Taiwan was a piece of China, territory of China. After World War II, Chinese Civil War happens. Communists win, and the anti-communists flee to Taiwan. Americans stopped the Chinese from invading Taiwan, and we have the situation today where Taiwan is a rival government to the Chinese Communist Party. And for that reason, the Communist Party see the acquisition of Taiwan as a fixture of their foreign policy. Right. The end of the century of humiliation for them, where they were treated as a second power where anyone could come in and take their stuff. And once they take Taiwan back, they see that as being the marker of China being a great power once again.
Right.
Because they can take a breakaway province right next to them.
Question.
Yeah.
Would you say that Russia is more of a threat to America than China?
No. Simple. I mean, which is a Christian country?
Russia.
Which one is it? Which one's a communist,
China.
atheist country?
China. I mean, hey, I'm just trying to help the geopolitical doctorates out here.
Yeah. And funnily enough, if you do some research on the history of Russia and U.S. relations, prior to the Bolshevik Revolution when the communists took over, the Russians and Americans had really amicable relations. In fact, during the Civil War, Russia sent their navy to protect the Pacific holdings from the British.
I would say that America could still have good relations with Russia. I think that Vladimir Putin and Trump could get along.
I would disagree there. I mean, I think Trump, a lot of people say Trump, Russia are like this, but you look at the history, you look at what's actually happening. Trump and Russia are not as clean cut as they say
I
they
think
are.
they could. I think Ukraine and things like that, listening to outside sources of so many people want Russia to be an enemy. And as long as that happens,
Well, it's
then
nostalgic for them. It's like, oh, I grew up with Russia being the enemy.
Right. But if that mindset changes, I could see America and Russia. I wouldn't say allies, but they wouldn't be enemies either. It would just be like,
here's the thing.
It's another country.
Russia and China are not allies, really good allies. They're allies of opportunity. It's convenient for both powers to be allied.
Then no
the
ally.
Chinese get cheap Russian oil, and the Russians get a large consumer base and a lot of capital from China. However, they have fought a war before, actually. During the 60s, I believe, or 70s, the Sino-Soviet split happened where, due to a border conflict, the Chinese and Russians fought an actual land war where a lot of people died. And it was a possibility of it going nuclear as well. Like, the Russians were about to nuke China, like, a few decades ago, which is crazy to think about. You think they're this close. No.
But mind you, folks, Russia has nukes, but we're worried about Iran.
Yeah, but, I mean, no, I'll need to get on that, too, as well, because now Trump wants to send long-range missiles to strike Moscow, to Ukraine.
Which, like I said, they're sending these weapons. If anything, you're prolonging this war.
You're killing more people.
You're killing
For
more
what
people.
reason? Because Russia's not going to surrender. They're winning the war.
No.
They're pushing it into Ukraine. Ukraine doesn't have
Russia's
the
not
manpower.
surrendering anytime soon. And that's why Zelensky's kind of disappeared. You don't see him much anymore.
Have you looked into how big the summer offensive is right now in Russia?
It's I get updates on it. People send it to me, and they're like, look.
Russia is sending thousands of drones in single attacks.
Yeah.
You know,
I do know that the most pro-Ukraine clips that you're going to get right now are like, oh my God, they bombed a train. Great job. They bombed a train, guys. This war has turned into a very one-sided war. And I think that's because Russian morale is somehow going up.
Well, but yeah,
and
think about it.
Ukraine morale is consistently going down.
Think about it from the Russian perspective. They're not just fighting Ukraine; they're fighting the whole Western world, basically.
Yeah, at this point.
I mean, think about the foreign volunteers, all the money, all the training being sent to the Ukraine, and they're still managing to beat the West.
That's the morale boost.
Because you have to remember, Texas, the great state of Texas, has a GDP bigger than Russia.
Yeah.
So for all of the GDP, all the countries in the Western Hemisphere who have giant economies compared to Russia, still not managing to beat Russia in this war.
And I think if you put the Russian military against the French soldiers and the American soldiers and the UK soldiers all on the line, I think that NATO wins.
I disagree.
They wins that. I don't think Russia wins that.
I mean, NATO hasn't fought a land war since Iraq, basically, and everything else has just been counterinsurgency.
I think if Russia and America went to war, a land war, I think America wins that.
Define win.
It depends on where the war is. I don't think that Russia invades.
Is this more of a proxy war, I'm guessing, than a direct land war?
Let's say Russia invades America.
Not happening.
America wins that, right?
Well, just simple. They don't have the Navy forces to.
If Russia invades France, I don't see them pushing in as easy as they did Ukraine, is what I'm saying. Is Ukraine, the only thing keeping Ukraine upright is the weapons of other nations. The Ukrainian people, I mean, they're being snatched out of their cars.
Oh, you've seen the videos too?
Yeah.
The kidnapping
They're
vans?
kidnapping men to fight in this war. And this is who we're sending weapons to make people fight a war that they don't want to be in and that they don't want to fight.
And that's not even talking about the corruption either.
Right.
I mean, like,
how much money has been sent in and versus how much money has actually seen the war? I would look into.
I've heard it's as high as the 75% loss ratio with a lot of this aid.
But again, Trump said we'll have it done in 24, 48 hours.
Not happening.
And now we're sending money and weapons to Ukraine. Why? There are a lot of things that have been just swept under the rug, but these are things that are going to be talked about in the midterms. These are things that are going to be talked on the general election. If this Ukraine-Russia war makes it all the way to the next presidential election,
But if without Ukraine surrendering, it will go that far.
I can already hear it now. Whoever the Democrat nominee is, they're on the debate stage. You got J.D. Vance or whoever you want to put as the Republican nominee, and the Democrat goes, what happened to ending that war in 24 to 48 hours?
What happened to no new wars?
What happened to no new war? Like, these are the talking points that they are going to put. So it's not that I'm up here just negative. No, I am up here saying, hey, if we don't do something about this now, it will be used against us later.
Don't just live in the moment. Think about what happens in the future.
Exactly.
The consequences of these actions that we're doing now will affect us in the future when it's time to vote. I think people forget
Trump is in his, 80s? Trump is in his 80s. He's old. He's not young. He will not be here forever. We have to start thinking past that. We continuously say that MAGA is not just one man, it's a movement. Okay, where are we moving to? A movement moves something. And the only thing you're doing is moving each other against each other. That's really where it is.
Yep.
When the positives happen, sure, I'll say, hey, these are the positives. But when the negatives happens, I'm also going to say, hey, these are the negatives. I'm going to call a spade a spade. Right? I'm bowling strikes. I'm not here to play your partisan political games. It's not what I'm here for. Right? I don't get paid to do it. I'm not making any money up here, so you can't buy me. And there's nothing you can do. I just so happen to actually care about where this country goes.
Yeah, because we're young. We're going to be dealing with the consequences of what happens now for the next decades.
Exactly. What happens now determines my future and determines my kids' future. I'm 20 years old now. You know, so kids are in the sight now. This is adulthood. And so I now have to set myself up for my family's success and my own success.
Yep. You're not just a little kid, playing with Trump, like, yay, MAGA, MAGA. No, you actually have you have a stake in the country now.
Exactly. You're
going to have to buy a house. You're going to have to raise a family. You're going to have to, provide for said family. And if the country is going in a direction that doesn't allow you to do so.
So, no, I'm not going to be quiet. I'm not going to sit silent. And to all the people saying, well, where were you 4 years ago? Go look at my resume. Go check the records. What were you doing 4 years ago when Biden was in office? Because I know exactly what I was doing. I was traveling up and down the state of Texas. I was in Florida. I was in California. I was in D.C. I was traveling the United States of America campaigning for Republicans to win in the midterms and in the general election when Biden was president. I wasn't just sitting on my couch tweeting out mean things on Facebook. I'm not a Facebook warrior. But the problem is a lot of people running around here think that they know so much about politics, but they don't know anything. They've yet to actually go outside their house and do anything. But yet they think that they just know so much. And then when you actually tell them and you confront them about it, they go, oh, trust the president. I'm sorry. Trusting the government is why we're in the position that we're in now.
Yeah, we give them a blind check, they're going to take advantage of it.
Exactly.
And that's the mistake we made.
You give them an inch, you give them a mile. Bryan, we're at the hour.
Yep.
Close us out, man.
Yeah, so, it's good to be back after a little week hiatus, 2 weeks after the last show. But fingers crossed we got some good news for next week. All we can do is pray for this country, pray for our leaders, and hope things get better. Once again, foreign policy, big thing. I would keep an eye on Iran-Israel. The war is not over by any means. It's just taken a ceasefire period. If you look at it, none of the goals were achieved by either nation. Israel needs regime change for Iran to not be a threat anymore. And Iran has a good reason to want war with Israel and the United States. The United States unpromptedly attacked Iran, never did a declaration of war. They just bombed them out of nowhere. And Israel basically started a preemptive strike on Iran, killed hundreds of people, a lot of civilians. So there's reasons for war. The seeds for war have been placed, and whether we will see something in the next weeks or months or even years, I don't know. But I will tell you this. I mean, if nothing changes, there will be more war in the Middle East, which
Right.
is amazing. When we grew up, there was war in the Middle East. When we became teenagers, there's war in the Middle East, and now we're gonna be adults and war in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Never too young to fight a war in the Middle East.
Well, folks, there's that. Also, release the files. Folks, this is the Patriots Den. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thursdays, 10 to 11. Our job here is to give you the truth, give you the facts, whether you like them or not, whether it's too hard, too cold, too soft, too hot. I could care less, quite frankly. Big things coming.
Truth first.
It's
all that
truth,
matters.
right? Yeah. Facts don't care about your feelings, and that's the truth. So, until those files are released, we're gonna end the show with 3 words: release the files. See y'all next week.